And let's see. Heal. Power to the left, because when you restand, it actually gets extra numbers. That's the heal guard. Please stand this. And let's go with this first. Number is basically the same. 23. Alright. Let's go for game. And hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. Today, we're going to be doing a deck profile on Keter Sanctuary. This is the 5th Imaginary Tower event, right? We started off with like Dragon Empire, and then we had Tohya, we had Dark Zone, we had all the other nations, and this is the last one. And this is quite an interesting one, because as you know, Bastion's playstyle is all about the grade 3s, but how does it translate to Zero? That is quite interesting. So I guess without further ado, let's go into the deck list and see my interpretation of it, given the few days of testing so far. So again, before we go into anything, Overdress support, it's definitely, I don't think they are very competitive. I think they are nice to have. They're easily accessible because everyone has access to tower events, and it's free to play friendly in the sense that you should be able to collect everything. But if I had to say, you know, are they competitive? Are they the best versions of the clan that the game can offer? I don't think so, but I definitely think that they're very accessible, and I think that they're a nice way to promote Overdress, the TCG, as a really easy way to get into the TCG as a new player as well. So let's go straight to the deck. For this list, I will be playing Royal Paladins. I think Royal Paladins have a very nice way to build up the board, generate resources, and you have Gats, which is forever, right? Gats is forever. You have some strides that supports the playstyle, generate more card advantage, protect your pieces, and have crits and all that stuff too. So I think it's a nice way. It's an easy way to play the deck. Caleb Weeks 1, thank you for the follow. So let's start off with the ride chain, or the ride line actually. So we have the base, which is, I guess, the base of the deck. How all the Overdress starter works is like, it mimics the ride deck in the TCG. So at the beginning of your ride phase, return a grade 1 from your hand to your deck to ride one of the grade 1 forts to your Vanguard circle. And then if you use that skill, you cannot normal ride. But more importantly, in your soul, when you ride the grade 3 Bastion, you can remove this card from the game and draw 1 card. So just by going through the ride line, you just +1, which is really, really nice. For the grade 1s, we have Fort, which does the same thing, helps you search for the grade 2. But it also has a rearguard trigger zone skill. If your Vanguard's the Bastion, it gains grade +2, so it's a grade 3, and the following ability. Rearguard circle once per turn, counterblast 1 to have one of your grade 3 units gets +3k. So this is really nice because your deck does generate multi-attack options. So you do want to give your units extra power in order to hit those numbers and push for game. And yes, Gladiator, this will be YouTube, so you are on the YouTube side of things. The grade 2s, we have Rooks, which does the same thing. Return a grade 3 from your hand to ride grade 3 Bastion. And then it has the same thing. It becomes a grade 3 in the rearguard circle and the trigger zone. But it also has the following skill. If you have 3 or more grade 3 units, this unit gets boost. Now, this is really nice because, well, you don't have as much ways to superior call grade 1s compared to grade 2s and whatnot. You know, even for example, Gablade, right? So having the Rooks act as a grade 1, act as a booster, and 9k as a 9k booster, you could even turn it into a 12k booster if you want to, is very nice. I think that's definitely very nice, and is kind of mimics what it does in the TCG, right? That's what it does. For the grade 3s, we play Bastion. Of course, SP Bastion is a very good looking unit. Persona Ride, it doesn't work the same as in the TCG. In Zero, it only gives your Vanguard +5k, but you still get that 1 draw, which is nice. And its skill is once per turn, when you drive check reveals a grade 3. If you have 2 or more grade 3s on the board, then this unit gets the following ability. At the end of the battle, stand one of your rearguards, and if you did, give it +3k. So this is very nice. It just helps you multi-attack. One of the best things about this unit is that it is not GB restricted. So if you're going first, you could be doing stuff already and applying some pressure and hitting those numbers. Remember, it gives +3k. And also, if you're worried about scaling, it also has a second skill, Vanguard Circle. During your turn, all of your grade 3 units gets +2. This includes itself, it includes rooks, it includes fort. So it's just like numbers, and numbers is great. Numbers are great. All right, and last piece of support, we have Paladin. Rearguard Circle 1 place if your Vanguard's a Bastion. Soul Blast 1, Counter Blast 2 to call a card from your hand. If you call the grade 3, draw 2 cards. So last time I checked, draw 2 cards is pretty good. There's a very famous pot that is that is used to draw 2 cards. And Rearguard Circle 1, this attacks if your Vanguard's a Bastion, it gets +3k. So generally, I don't think I call out Alden in the front row. But if it's really early into the game or late when you need to hit those numbers, Alden is a very nice 14k number by itself. If you're on Bastion, it's +2k as well, 16. If you restand it, it's a 19. So it's just really nice to hit numbers. One thing to note is that even if you stride, you still have access to these skills. So it doesn't prohibit you. You just need to be able to pay the cost and whatnot, because if your Vanguard's on Bastion and you stride on top of it, your Vanguard still has the Bastion name. So that's very good. Alright, let's talk about everything else from the deck. I think that's pretty standard. We're going to be playing 4 of the countercharging PG, because why not? We play 3 stride fodders. Helps you stride. Striding is still important, even though you don't, like, it's not the main winning image, but striding gives you the options that you might want to access from time to time. Pseudo resist is nice, superior calling is nice, on hit multi-attacking is nice, and unlocking is very good too. And lastly, for the grade 1 slot, we play 2 of the Ladiness. On place Soul Blast to draw 1. This does conflict with Alden, but we do have a card that helps us with soul management, so that's important to know. One thing to note as well is that the starter goes from the soul to out of game. So when you ride up from 0 to 3, when you're on grade 3 Bastion, you will actually only have 2 soul. So that's why I did mention that this is 1 soul blast and this is 2 soul blast. So you kind of need 3 if you want to use one of each skill in one game. And so you do need to rely on 1 card in the grade 2 slot to help you out with that if you do want to. But overall, I think it's still fine. It's not like you play 4 of both. And just being able to proc and just plus is important. For the grade 2s, we play 4 Blaster Blades. Counter Blast 2, retire 1. Very nice. Helps you generate more pressure. We play 3 of the Knight of Twin Sword. Helps you multi-attack on GB1. And we play 2 of the Knight of Fragment. This is the main superior call option, whether that's the Knight of Fragment or the Blade. The reason being is because it's an 11k beater. On hit, soul charge 1, counter charge 1 as well. So it helps you refund the cost. It helps you fuel the resources you need in order to keep plussing and maintaining that pressure. So that's why we need to play some Knight of Fragments to hit the numbers as well. It's really important. And lastly, we play 4 of the Ganslots because Ganslot's eternal. We do want to play 13 grade 3s because we want to increase the consistency of Bastion skill as soon as turn 1. And playing the 4 heal guards, I feel like the odds are still good, but not as good as possible. Not at its peak, right? And the risk reward, I feel like it's worth the risk of just having less defensives in your hand, and the reward of being able to more consistently restand, as well as return the heal trigger back to the deck and search for the Blaster Blade. It's still really solid. And lastly, we play 1 Alfred Exceave just for the Legion option, because the deck does go through the deck quite fast enough. If you do want to go for Alt Mile as the one-of, just in case for certain matchups, you can definitely do that too, because we have Sisylis to help you search for the Alt Mile, even if it's just a one-of. For the grade 4s, we're playing 1 of the Blade. On hit, superior call just helps you generate multi-attacks. Even if you don't want to attack with it, calling down a Rooks to the back row still can be a 9k booster. So that's really nice. Harmonics for the Link Joker matchup. We play 2 of the Aerial Alt Mile. It doesn't require Alt Mile Heart, and you just superior call anything. It gives your front row extra power as well. So superior calling a Knight of Twin Sword enables multi-attacks. Superior calling a Blaster Blade enables retiring. So just a really solid option. And we play 4 of the Saint Blow Dragon. When it attacks, you can G Persona to get +3 for each of your rearguards. And if you have 2 or more face up in the G zone, it gets +1 crit. And your grade 2 rearguards cannot be retired by your opponent's card effect until the end of the next turn. So this is nice. Of course, it doesn't block against some skills like Gear Chronicle or Link Joker's Locks, but it's still really solid for most of the clans out there. Just protect your pieces, play a little bit of Turtle, especially since we don't play 4 of the heal guards, and apply some crit pressure as well, damage denying and whatnot. So that's basically the list. It's pretty straightforward. Not much to be said, but yeah, that's basically it. I definitely think you can play around with this list. You can play around with other clans like Shadow Paladin, OTT as well. Those could be interesting picks. But without further ado, let's go into a game or two on the ladder and see how the deck performs. So yes, unfortunately, you can't play a Bastion on Link Joker. You can't pair it with Blaster Joker. But that would be quite fun, I guess. But yeah, let's go into ladder. And while we're doing that, I thank you all for being here on the Twitch side of things. And thank you to the members, Kamui, Tumelo, Casey, and ZBD. Thank you for being members on YouTube. Yes. I feel like most of the videos recently, it's all like game 1, game 2 VP farmers. Is that a thing? I didn't like purposely. Oh my! Someone called it. Chubby Boomer called it. Oh boy, it is a VP farmer. So, well, Twitch side of things, you're gonna stick around for this, but YouTube, I will see you all on the next game. What do I do? Grade 1. We can keep these, honestly. Keep the grade 3, and then helps us search for Bastion. If we do have access to another grade 3, then we can always put it back as the Blaster Blade as well. So, and we are back. We're done with the VP farmer. It's very nice. Can't complain, I guess. But let's try to go to a proper game and properly demonstrate how Bastion works. So I think Bastion is a very, very aggressive deck. Some other options that I think you can consider is like the Violinist, the grade 2, spend, like build up the board and all that. But I tried that, and the soul management was a little challenging, especially since we do need to rely on like 2 out of your like 30-40 card deck in order to make that work. Not the greatest. Grade 1, I mean, the Ryan targets are pretty self-explanatory, but if you wanted to fix your ride, I'd say grade 1, it's always the grade Soul Blast 2 draw 1. Generally, because again, like we only have 2 soul by the time we get to grade 3. You don't have access to more soul charging before that. So just put it back into the deck and then think about it later. Let me turn on animations. And then grade 2, rocks. Like again, what would you put back? I guess Blaster Blade maybe, just to have more targets for Gantz. But this is surprising. Snowgle, interesting. Gladiator says, "Don't forget, you always have a miracle heal in the videos." Yeah, that's true. It's a thing. I don't like it because it's mostly on the opponent side of things, but it is a thing. What do we have? We have 2 Bastions. Let's just put this Gant slot back. Gives us a chance to check for a heal as well, which is really nice. And I'll just call stuff out. Apply a little bit of pressure. We're gonna commit the grade 1 anyways next turn, because Bastion is live. So let's just swing. For this deck, not all the time will you actually stride. Like sometimes it's just the whole game you're just gonna stick to Bastion plays. So don't worry too much about your GB plays. Don't stride just because you want to enable GB1. I don't think that's super necessary. It's still great as an option, but only when you think when you can't build up the board, or when you need something else out of the stride as well. Alright, let's see. Playing the Mithril Guard line, which is a 13k intercept and stand alt mile. I really don't understand this one, but if it works, you know, that sets a precedent. Snoggles. Okay, so we're gonna be fighting against a 13k. Alright, I'm gonna use this skill just because I want to fetch the SP. SP Bastion. Is this the SP Bastion? This is not the SP Bastion. Is the SP Bastion's in the damage zone? That's a shame. So just get rid of it and draw 1 card. Very good. And then we can do some stuff like we can do so. Let's 2 draw 1. Hit some numbers. Let's do that. So let's 2 draw 1. We can retire this. Again, not GB1 means the Knight of Fragment is not active, but that's still okay. I don't think we're gonna hit numbers. But oh no, I don't have 3 grade 3s. I'm a scrub. Oh no. Math hard. Math hard. So unfortunately, we don't have the abilities to use this. Reading is hard, confirmed. But it's still okay. I think we're still okay. We're still okay, right? This is embarrassing, but still fine. Still fine. I hope it's still fine. Opponent plays the stand trigger from G set 1. Goes back to the deck, helps you scale up by 3k. Don't think it's that great, but who knows. Opponent's ride phase, they have alt mal, but the question is, will they go into alt mal? They should, right? They should. But I guess for the last turn, even though we misplayed, I guess we did demonstrate how consistently you can check grade 3s. It's not just like Assure Kaiser where you have to rely on your 13 grade 3s, well, minus the 12 grade 3s at most, right? Because the one's on your Vanguard circle, but you also have your rooks and you also have your forts. And the great thing about those units is that even after you proc their trigger check, they go back to the deck, and you have a few ways to shuffle the deck actually. So, you know, the odds don't decrease that substantially as you go through the game. You can still very consistently proc Bastion skill throughout the game. The Blade, down to 2 turn timers. Wonder how that will be. It's calling out the board, and Milius calling something out. Is it the Spirit? They play 1 Spirit. I expect maybe 1 more, maybe. Maybe Blaster Blades because they play Gam slots. What will we see here? Alright, Knight of Fragment instead. Okay, it's a little interesting pick because Rearguard has to clear Rearguards. And if they use a Blade to hit face, that's I mean, hit Rearguard, that's a little bit of waste. I'll draw trigger here with the King of Knights Alfred. No boosters, can't really scale up with Blade. But I agree, Peppermint, like the deck is still very trigger reliant. Like you still obviously need to hit your triggers, like triggers to actually do stuff rather than just guaranteed to do it. Alright, this turn, what do we want? We can actually Blade. And that's something to consider. So I'll actually no. I think we can Persona Ride. Opponent only has 1 intercept, so that's quite nice. And I don't think striding is necessary. I think we'd rather just use skill, sack. Rearguard to rearguard. 14. And here we go. Grade 3, please, grade 3. Grade 3, let's go. Let's go, let's go. Okay, they got 2 defensives, but that's okay. They're down to 3 cards in hand, drawing for 4. And we still got a solid board. I chose to commit the Knight of Twin Sword because Knight of Twin Sword is GB restricted. Blaster Blade is not. One is Counter Blast heavier than the other, but it means that I'm not forcing myself, pigeonholing myself into a stride turn next turn. I can still choose to stay in the Bastion and try to go for game that way as well. Gladiator Saki decks are fine when you're Entropy, the RNG god. Well, you see, that's the easiest thing about this game, right? All the math doesn't matter. Just sack, bro. It's so simple. It's so simple. Just sack and win games. Grade 3 Searcher, Menprius on hit Vanguard. The Samuel doesn't actually proc because they don't have 5 rearguards. So that's not good. Look at this. Can't touch me. Want to out sack me? Excuse me. Excuse me. How many grade 3s do we have left? We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 grade 3s out of 18 cards. I like those odds. Do you? I'm gonna actually use the Blaster Blade though, because retiring is good. Rather than the Alden. I think the position is wrong. I should have put the Alden in the 7k column because it hits 21. But this is fine, right? I can still do this. So this is 16. This is 16. That's PG. No more heal guards. Alright. 24. Heal trigger. Very good. Let's pass it to the Alden right there. And Bastion wins games. Let's see if they see that 6 damage heal. Like you all mentioned. Nope. That's a crit. But that is game. So of course I don't think that this is a great representation of the deck. We did a fair amount of stacking. You know, we saw a fair amount of triggers. Our opponent didn't really. But to be fair, they were playing much jankier jank. So you know, it's creative, but it's not very effective. Aozaki, but can you sack like the Menace Kumi did in her event? Yo, Kumi in the OTT events was pretty annoying to fight for sure. Alright, who said Blaster Joker? Because we are gonna do that Aichi versus Aichi match. Blaster Blade versus, okay, Messiahs probably, but still neat. Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. I think it's fine to have this. Just leave it in our hand and then go from there. Especially since we're going first. We do want to make sure that we have the Bastion so we can apply some pressure. Because again, it's not GB restricted. It's great. Okay. No need to use this. We're just gonna ride manually. It's the same thing. In what cases would you use this? I think if you have seen triggers already, or haven't seen triggers yet. If you haven't seen triggers yet, then the odds of trigger checking is actually higher if you don't shuffle the deck, because the non-trigger is at the bottom, right? The non-trigger drive check. But if you didn't see triggers, then I guess it doesn't really matter that much. Alright, just gonna put the Blaster Blade back. Our opponent's gonna be playing some jank Link Joker deck with AK vanillas. This is interesting. I love that word because it's very safe to use. And I'm just gonna call the Knight of Twin Sword. Just apply some pressure. If we see a trigger, then we might hit 14. If we don't, that's still fine. We still can kill that 8k off for that turn. And again, I'm calling these GB units rather than the Blaster Blades or whatever, because they are GB restricted, and we don't have to go into those options. Even if we do want to, we can always Superior Call them and all that. So. Aozaki, Legion Mate, weird arc dope units. What do you mean? It's all about the friendships, right? It's great. Alright, what do we do here? I think we can put the... Alfred Exceed back. And ride a Blast. Okay, SP Bastion. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. Remove to draw 1 card. Very nice. And of course we can't stride, but let's just build up a board and go from there. So it's gonna hit 1, 2. I think this is fine. This is fine. And we're not gonna use the skill. And this is fine. This is 9. If we restand it, what is it? If we restand it, it's a 12, so it hits 21. So that works out. So of course we do have a lot of grade 3s seen already, but you never know. The pure white sleeves, probably one of the... There we go, heal trigger, very good. Probably one of the character fights. Like once you unlock the keys and stuff, you will get access to it. Against Poinks, we proc our skill, restand and hit numbers. Very nice. Pushing to 4 on turn 3 without spending any counterblast. Yeah, Seminar. Alter Ego Messiah. Okay then. So, What else do we have? I guess we can always just Persona Ride. That's a fair play as well. Striding by discarding 2 cards. That definitely hurts. Going into the Amnesty Messiah. We don't have any PGs in hand, so that's a little bit iffy. We didn't see into any of our Aldens or our Paladin as yet. So hopefully we do, because the draws could be helpful. Okay, calling down their hand. Okay, 1 card left in hand. Feeling pretty good about this. Okay, locking that. I don't know. I don't know if that's the play. I don't know. If you just attack with Arrestor, lock something on my board, and then you can lock this as well, right? I don't think you needed to hit 13 to hit that 9k. Misplay. That's not good. Not good. All right, that's a grade 3 in their hand. That's a PG at the bottom of the deck. Okay, 16 doesn't hit 26. I'm gonna swing anyways, that's fine. Gladiator, yes, we took the W. Alright, I am just gonna Persona Ride. Try to draw into our pieces. Hopefully draw into the Soul Blast 2 draw 1s. Ah, that's a Bastion. That's not what we're looking for. What else can we do? We can play on hit to multi-attack. Yeah, we can do that. Score grade 3. Get triple drive. And hopefully see some heals or whatever. We have 3 heals left in the deck, so that's pretty good. Alden. We could Alden, but that means, yeah, Alden's fine. Let's do that. Soul Blast grade 3, and call grade 3 out, and draw 2 cards. Try to dig into PGs. There we go. That's a PG. That's nice. And I will just call a grade 1 instead. Battle. 11 hits 9. 11 hits 9. 14. And we're gonna hit and get 1 superior call. Draw trigger's nice. Power here. So it's nice. We got to dig for a PG, which definitely makes the end game feel a lot safer. And I'm actually gonna go into the out of Twin Sword and even consider just using its skill to thin out the deck. So we have a higher likelihood of seeing triggers next turn. We do have blasters already, so let's just do that. Yes, not gonna hit. Okay, we know they have a grade 3 in their hand, but that's the last card. So let's see what they top deck. So grade 3 unknown card. They're gonna stride. They're gonna go into Big Crunch or Exalix. Probably Big Crunch because they don't have the board to actually use an Exalix or Amnesty turn. And then it really depends on the 2 cards that they drew. 1 card they drew for turn and 1 card they drew for stride. Don't know what will happen, but we'll see. Comebacks can happen. So Big Crunch as we expected. Pretty straightforward play. Low on resources, just Big Crunch. Really plain and simple. Just lock 2 front rows and have your shot at the face. Alright, grade 2. What's the last card? Calling that 9k in front of that locked unit is awkward. I guess it doesn't matter. Heal. Okay, well, it still doesn't hit numbers if they committed whatever, maybe. But I guess with a 5-card hand, they're afraid that we have defensives anyways, so. But playing like this is like playing not to lose. I mean, it's not playing to win. And when you're down on the numbers, you really need to play to win. I think that's a key part to recognize. So for this turn, Bastion isn't that great of a play, but I think that the Harmonics definitely is a viable play. You have Same Blow as well, which is solid. Just depends on what you feel like. I think the Harmonics is fine, right? Harmonics or the Same Blow. Decisions. All right, I'm just gonna go with the Same Blow. The one on the left is gonna unlock, so that's fine. And then we can still use same blow to get some extra crit and whatnot. Hopefully hit over that hit over a heal guard if they have one. This is not gonna matter except for the crit and the power. The pseudo, draw a trigger, power here. Can we please see a heal? There we go, that's a heal. That's a PG, okay, they top decked into a PG, and that's probably the last card that they kept. Don't know what else is in their hand, but again, we got 2 intercepts, they're down to 2 cards. And let's see how this goes. Probably a misclick. Yeah. Sometimes people misclick. I fat finger as well. Like I've missed lethal multiple times, even in competitive play. It feels really bad. It feels bad, but it is what it is. Skill issue. Skill issue. Okay, your opponent's got a Stride. Okay, draws into another grade 3. Good on them. Let's see what they go. Judgment. Unfortunately, the wallet got to them. Don't have another big crunch. That feels really, really terrible. But that's just how it is. Lastel TTV, thank you for the raid. What's up? This is the first time I got raided. How are you doing? Welcome to the Twitch side of things, and you're going to be part of the YouTube video. So welcome, welcome. Alright, just going to call out the Blink Messiah and also the Heal Guard. Going for game. If they did this last turn, they had a chance to win. This turn, okay, just sack the crit. Fair enough. But we do have that PG that we drew into with the Alden. So that's very nice. Yes. Go follow Lastel. If you're on the YouTube side of things and you're not familiar with the Twitch stuff, go follow Lastel TTV. Does Vanguard Zero content as well. And pretty solid dude. Alright, so this turn, what do we want? What do we want? We're low on cards, so we gotta be careful with that. What are our odds for the Bastion play? I think the odds are pretty high. But I think maybe a same blow is also pretty safe. Actually, I don't want to draw. I don't want to draw anymore. Let's just leave it. Leave it like this. And just do it. 11 hits. That is a trigger. And let's see. Heal. Power to the left, because when you restand, it actually gets extra numbers. That's a heal guard. Please stand this. And let's go with this first. Number is basically the same. 23. Alright. Let's go for game. And that's it. Nej the Great, thank you for the follow as we go into this W. So yeah, that's 3 if you count the VP farming. 3 simple games for the Bastion Royal Paladin list. We got the rank up. They're higher ranked than us, so extra points is very nice. But yeah, I mean, overall the deck is pretty straightforward. You follow the ride line. You just recognize the amount of grade 3s you need, whether that's on the board and in the deck. And then, depending on your situation or your matchup, decide if you want to go for the multi-attack or if you want to go for the plussing or the crit pressure and retire plays off aerial alt mile and whatnot. So it's just a pretty solid deck. I have fun with it. I think it's really easy to build this deck. If you're a new player, you can pick up the super deck for the Royal Paladin. You have the Gant slots, you have the Blaster Blades. If you roll G set 1, you could do that as well. You don't really even need the countercharging PGs because your deck doesn't really spend that much counterblast, frankly. And you have a lot of alternatives, but you should have gotten the Imaginary Tower stuff from the Imaginary Tower event that just ended. And the G zone, even though I do play the GRs, you could play stuff like Samuel to replicate the crit. You could play more other stuff. So lots of options and a very nice deck to play around when you feel like playing some overdress. So that's basically it for this video. Thank you to the members Kamui, 2Mellow, Casey, and ZBD. Thank you for the follow as well. Mapash Bandito, thank you for the follow. But yeah, like the video if you liked it on the YouTube side of things. subscribe if you haven't already and want to see more. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.